Okay, so I just wanted to create a quick guide, because a lot of people have been asking how to create save states. Like, they wanted to help in the Morph save state Discord specifically, but they aren't quite comfortable with how they do it. So I wanted to show me doing a save state and try to explain the steps. So the request I got for this one was to learn to beat Falco coming down from top platform. You obviously start off by picking characters and the stage you want to work on. In this case, we're gonna do it on Battlefield. I think this is a good starting position for Marth. You then save the position. You can take control of the computer characters like this. And this should be our starting position. So we now need to resave the position. This will reset everything. The drawback of this obviously is right now you can't have multiple starting positions. The computer and the human character will always spawn in the same place. But let's say this is our starting position. I like going frame by frame to just make sure you always have the frame perfect inputs for everything. It's also good to, when you do create a save state, that we don't do, because let's say we do drop down instant fast fall down there. The problem with this is that when we do playback, it's likely that the human player that then will practice will not have time enough to press the left on the D-pad to reset and then do the right option. So what I usually do when I record these is I wait a certain amount of frames, usually a second. So let's say on frame 60, because you can see the frame counter. Then let's let the Falco drop down. And we can do down there. I should show my inputs too. I obviously don't need to do this when doing it yourself, but it's just good to make sure. What I make sure here, because you could see me do multiple L cancels, that's because if you then try to whiff punish this down there, since you don't go for a hit lag, the timing would change. So that's another difficult thing when you're creating save states, is you have to make it work both on hit and on whiff. Which is why I also buffer spot dodge afterwards. And if we then do playback, yeah, it works, even on whiff. Meaning we have our first one. It has 6 slots, meaning ideally we want 6 different options, which should be the 6 most common options, done basically perfectly. So let's do the second one. Here we start off by waiting almost a second, and then we can do drop down laser. Yeah, that one works. Since this one doesn't rely on hit stun, or hit lag I should say, we don't have to worry about doing specific timings out of this. I still think in this current spot I would still buffer something like spot dodge, because our goal should be to whiff punish this. So now we have the second one. And the goal should then be to try to call it out. Okay, so for the third one, we can do something like, obviously wait a second, then we can do drop down, oh, a bit too far. Drop down, and let's say do double jump down there. Just making sure I hold down so I don't land on top platform. And again, be a bit liberal for when you do input the L cancel. Yeah, something like this. Should probably actually add fast fall, because I don't think I did, making it harder to react to. Yeah, I think that looks better. He did give me some options he wanted me to try out. I will just double check which those were. The bear. Yeah, bear is also a good one. So we can do... Let's... Oh. Make sure we do a new slot. Record. Wait a second. Here I'm gonna do one frame earlier, because I want to do... Dash shield. Hopefully this does shield drop. It doesn't. Alright, that's gonna be a roll. Never mind, I have to hold. But yeah, you want to create different options, which would be the most common ones. So let's say here we do turn around, drop down, and then fast fall back here. Something like that. Just making sure it still L cancels when it hits. Which it does. Good. So now we have 4 out of 6. I think those were the like main options, or the common ones. It can be hard to think about other mix-ups. So let's, for example, do empty jump, grab, and for the last one we can do something like empty jump shine. Just generally options where the goal is to try to cover everyone, or make sure you cover or don't get hit by the options. So let's wait a second. Drop down. Hopefully do it correctly. I think the shine is gonna miss. Yeah. Yeah, that's better. Since again, I'm just gonna make him jump out of this one, because on whiff it's gonna be a different timing. But yeah, then we have our options. And then the goal should be to try to space around these. Then you're gonna export them. Make sure you first set the slot to random, and make sure all of the slots work. This should be easy enough to do. After you've done this, just go to export and call it something fitting. So let's do... something like that. And that's basically it. I wanted to add something for some different options. We can redo the position. You might want the human character to start with an action. So let's say we want to practice slide-off follow-ups on this platform. Then all you need to do is make sure you first save the position to reset. Then you set the human one to record. And then you do whichever action you're going to do. So in this case, up throw. And this is the first frame of up throw, meaning we're done. So now we put playback, and he will still up throw. And the player can then, in this example, hold shield, and they can act right out of it. This is so it always feels like you're in control of your character. Because I've seen save states before where they try to make the human do an action, but they don't stop the recording quick enough, meaning there are dead frames where you can't actually input stuff. But yeah, that's more or less how I create my save states. If you have any more questions, please ask them in the Discord, and I'm always happy to help out.